Pardon the odd topic for today, but I want to preface this video by saying that I want to discuss this topic in a way that is beyond um, ethical considerations and literal meanings of, say, cannibalism. I'm not talking about the word cannibalism in the literal sense of um, taking a human being, killing them, and taking apart their organs and consuming their organs. Rather, I'm kind of looking at it through a poetic, metaphorical, philosophical lens where I'm using cannibal as a kind of tool to convey a meaning or something beyond the literal sense of what cannibalism is. So I want to begin by with the thesis statement of the title of this video, which is that a kiss is the beginning of cannibalism, which is a quote from a French philosopher, Georges Bataille. And I don't know anything about him, or nor do I know anything about his philosophy. I've only seen this quote multiple times and have pondered on it and thought about love. And in a previous video, I did talk about love and how love can be formless. And for the sake of this video, we're gonna talk about that with love, as in love between two people, romantically, for now. And I think that cannibalism, in this sense, could be the form, highest physical form of love. And by saying that, I am implying that the highest form of physical love is consumption. And since I've seen this quote multiple times and I've been exposed to this idea a few times, I have I have seldom disagreed with it. And I think that if you think of physical love, or rather desire, as the need to consume someone, it first seems a bit weird or a bit arbitrary or a bit outrageous, right? But the title of this video seeks to kind of compare these two things, kissing and cannibalism. And the reason we can say that a kiss is the beginning of cannibalism is um, you can say that a kiss is a physical way to touch someone intimately, more intimate than touching someone's hands or touching someone's shoulder, we can say. And the more intense a kiss can get, the more cannibalistic it can be. You can have an intense kiss where you're tonguing the person, where you're biting the person, where you're biting their lips, or biting their cheek, or digging into their mouth. Pardon the vulgarity, right? But the more intense you can get, the more closer it can become to cannibalism. So if we're taking this, if we're trying to ascend this scale, then kissing is at the bottom, and utter complete raw consumption is at the top. So is the whole goal of physical love to consume? And the reason I'm really making this video is because I haven't seen people talk about it, so I'm kind of just being the first one to make a video about this in the modern age, because I don't know anything about this idea. But it's really interesting. You see a lot of people, including myself, write poetry, love poetry, which uses the imagery of cannibalism as a way to consume one whole, and the way to more than love someone and express utter raw desire onto someone by consuming them. And the other party willingly accepting that love by allowing themselves to be consumed by someone who loves them. So it also establishes a dominant and submissive role within the relationship to be consumed and to be the consumer. Expanding onto other romantic and love-ish actions, you have hugging and the act of sex, where in the act of sex you can also say that there is a dominant and submissive position. And more wholesome, more normal acts like hugging, you're kind of trying to submit a person to your own will and to your own body by squeezing them into you. So if you just exaggerate both of those actions, and you exaggerate any action that kind of portrays love in the physical sense, it kind of becomes a bit weird or animalistic, or weird in the sense that you're trying to submit someone to your own will, to your own desire, by sun got really dim there, by pushing them onto you, or by subjecting them to your own will or to your own wishes and your own desires. And cannibalism seems to be the purest and rawest form of this, wherein there's no more filters, there's no more being nice, there's no more holding back. You're completely consuming someone whole. And again, in a metaphorical sense rather than literally, because I don't want to imagine that literally. That would be kind of weird. I'm not really I'm not the kind of person to be really interested in that. Just to mention it so that you guys don't think of me as some weird cannibalistic guy. Obviously, we're all human beings and we all have morals and ethics. But I like discussing this because you have certain discussions about certain topics, and when you take things to the extreme, you can kind of see things for what they are beyond the surface level simplicity that they have. I think that raw desire and raw love, restricted by human ethics and human morals, is what we would consider romance. And yet, without those human morals and without human ethics, if there were no laws, if there were no emotion, then people would just consume each other. And you can kind of see that in animals. I know there are certain animals that eat their children, certain animals that um, are cannibals. But I think it's hard to imagine any hypothetical scenario without human ethics, because I think everything can go awry in a hypothetical world without ethics or without morals and without rules. So just imagining how kissing is cannibalism is a very far off, offbeat, outstretched idea that should be regarded as kind of silly. And yet, it's kind of hinted at in certain metaphors and certain um, figures of speech and poetically and figuratively, like "I want to eat you whole" could be kind of a cute expression if said in a lightful manner among two people in a relationship. But beyond that and underneath that, there is a real desire, whether you acknowledge it or not, to consume one person, depending on how much you desire them. And I think I'm kind of making a confusion here between love and desire, because desire is form. And if you're referencing my video previously about love and how love is formless, desire is a level below love, which is desire as in form or lust, which is form. And as I said in the beginning of this video, cannibalism can be the highest physical form of love, as in form, something that isn't formless. And so this leads me to believe that chasing the form of something is nowhere near worth chasing the formless of something. So if I were to chase the formlessness of love, you would significantly agree that it's more wholesome and more meaningful to chase that rather than chase the form of love, which could be absolute domination or absolute just giving everything that you have physically and thinking that that should somehow express love, and which is very far-fetched. And this kind of going back into a discussion of form versus formlessness, this kind of illustrates how far form and formlessness really are, as in you really can't comprehend it. And I'm gonna make more videos about form and formlessness because I'm continually discovering new things about that idea and expanding on it. But this thought experiment kind of just puts them on two different levels, and you realize how difficult it really is to comprehend form and formlessness. With something like love and lust and desire, would you consider desire or lust pure love? No, because that is form, and pure love should be formlessness, should be formless. And so, since we experience forms, every form that we experience, there is something formless behind it, and whether we know it or not, we are experiencing the formless through the form. Kissing and cannibalism form as forms of love. Would you think that it's unnecessary to do such things when the only goal is to experience the formlessness of love? No. I think it would be a weird relationship to have intense love without physical contact. At least for me, that's what I'm thinking right now. But certainly that can be true. But if I believe that to be so, and if I believe that to have something formless, it needs to be expressed through form. Otherwise, it is incomprehensible and inexplainable and totally arbitrary to anything that we can understand or comprehend as humans. Because formlessness is something beyond humanity and beyond our own consciousness. So to experience love, we have to kind of put up with the form of love, no matter how shallow it can be. If you love something, kind of express your love through physical affection, or through physical actions, or through other kinds of affection that you may express your love through. And with that, I do think in this vacuum discussion that we're having, cannibalism can be a form of love. And I don't think the point of this video is to prove that. I think it's kind of a weird premise and it's kind of a weird conclusion to come to, but certainly um, acknowledging the extremes of a certain idea and how far you can take form, it kind of shows you how chasing form is the wrong thing to do, rather chasing formlessness, chasing something that is formless. Like the formless idea of love is much more meaningful than trying to maximize form in the physical sense. And I don't know what this video is getting to, but I don't want to spend an hour here trying to debate that and debate a topic that's this weird. I don't think people are going to watch this video anyways. It's kind of just me having fun with certain thought experiments. But I read that quote, "A kiss at the beginning of cannibalism," and I really got intrigued by it. I wrote poems about it. I wrote metaphors about it. I tried to imagine what it would be like in this set definition, in this vacuum, as in not ethically wrong, not in the literal sense, but the imagery and the idea of consuming someone whole, or willingly allowing yourself to be consumed whole. If you look at it that way, it's much more wholesome, and it's kind of something that is apparent to most people. They'll kind of understand that. And so I think acknowledging some extreme example like that illustrates that point further. And I don't know what I made this video for. I think I just wanted to discuss it, and it seemed like a really interesting idea to me at this moment. I woke up a few minutes ago, and I just remembered this quote, and I just want to talk about it. And I might make more videos later, because I have multiple ideas happening in my brain, and I want to let them out, put them onto the YouTube. So I'll just see you in the next video, and hopefully the next video is less weird.